What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Want to talk a little bit about the division. Managed to get a beta code, a free one at that. Not bad, not bad. And it's a game everyone's anticipating, and I figured I'd take a look at it. I'm excited for it, but you know, with blinders on or caution goggles on, because games get too hyped up nowadays. But yeah, let's give it a shot. Alright, so I had tried to make this like professional and, you know, write stuff down, and I did write stuff down, and then like I never got around to trying to read it because I tried to improv my intro. Anyway, that's how I usually do my videos, but I'm just gonna rant. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, free thinking. Division's a, you know, semi-open world third-person shooter RPG, and let me just, you know, fully disclose, I am fucking obsessed with that genre. Okay, I've put 500 hours into Defiance. I've put 500 hours into Warframe, and I know Defiance is like objectively a lot worse than Warframe, and subjectively a lot of people just didn't like it. But anyway, so I love this genre. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but I am gonna criticize this game. So it's fun. It has flaws, but it's fun, right? And it has potential, but then it doesn't necessarily, at least according to the beta, which is another problem of mine. It wasn't a real beta, but anyway, that's another argument. It's got flaws, you know, and it's got potential, but so like right now on the screen you see the skills, right? Well, this is more of the base development. I'm developing my base. You could have like 3, maybe 4 wings, like tech, security, and medical, and you have to expand those wings to unlock your specific class. Let's say, I'm probably gonna be a healer in this game because it just looks so fucking cool, and I've kind of went towards that archetype in general in MMOs and stuff. Like, I just like it, you know? Like, I main a Shadow Priest in World of Warcraft. I play the game on and off. I've been playing since 2006, but I play more, like, on and off right now. I play Shadow, and in PvE, I heal. Because I love it. And in this game, it's cool, man, that there's, like, a healing thing. And don't be fooled. This game is an RPG, right? Like, it is definitely an RPG. And I know a lot of people compare this game to Destiny, which I don't really understand. They're just very different. I mean, I guess I could get it, but they're very different. But let's join them and compare it to Destiny, right? Like, okay, Destiny doesn't have healers and tanks and all that kind of shit, but this game does. But the thing is, the PvE in Destiny compared to the PvE in this so far, they're vastly different. And I would actually say Destiny's PvE is vastly superior to this because you have mechanics. Let's say King's Fall, the raid. You have to do things, or any MMO for that regard. I'm not gonna I know Destiny's pretty shitty at the moment too, but I just wanna get the point across. The PvE, like right now, this is me PvEing in the Dark Zone. But when you PvE, say the Madison Square Garden type dungeon event thingy, it doesn't feel like, it doesn't have the mechanics of a traditional MMO, right? There's no stay out of the fire, or I guess there is it with the grenades, right? So that's like a stupid example. But there aren't those mechanics. Oh, step on this plate in this order, or you know, oh, DPS this thing to knock it off, and then it'll expose a weak spot, and then DPS that, or everybody stack up so that you can focus the damage, you know, or so that the damage splits on everyone. There doesn't seem to be anything crazy like that, and a big problem I have is the AI and enemy variety are so miserably bad in this game. I mean, so let's take another third-person shooter RPG, Mass Effect, right? Say Mass Effect 3 is the most recent one. You have the Cerberus guys, and each faction has a different flavor, and within each faction there are different enemy varieties. So you have the Cerberus, I forgot all the names, but the guys that hold the shields, right? They're one type. Then you have the Centurions, who are another type. They have a shield rather than a literal holding physical shield. They have like an energy shield or whatever, tech shield, that you have to use an energy attack to get down. You know, the other shield you have to use either armor pen, or you have to use, you know, like one of your biotic pull things to pull the shield out of his hand. Or you have the Atlas things where they have weak spots. It's like a giant walking thing, and they have weak spots in the window where the driver is, or in the back where the engine, the turbine is. You know, shit like that. And like the Reapers are different. They're gonna just fucking rush you constantly. But they also have units that stay back and snipe you, like the Ravagers. This game, the AI is so fucking stupid. They rush you like just constantly. Like there's no regard. There's no strategy. They don't necessarily. They kind of do, but in a very crude way. They'll try to flank you. They'll try to flush you out with nades, but it's not really like, oh man, like just sometimes they climb up on tables and just stand there, or they just start shooting randomly, or sometimes a guy will run past all your teammates to go towards you. And I guess that kind of makes sense because that might have been like, there is threat in the game, and there are mods and items that will reduce or increase your threat. But, you know, it can create some really wonky situations where I'm standing all the way in the back or sitting or behind cover all the way in the back of all my friends, and an NPC just fucking beeline straight to me, no regard for his health, you know what I mean, and just attacks me 20, 30 meters in the back. Anyway, or sometimes, oh, I said that, they climb on tables and just kind of stand there. They just do really weird things. Or, oh, another one is sometimes in the Madison Square Garden mission, which is like the one PvE dungeon we had, they will rush towards you. Then they will 180 and rush back to where they spawned, and then do it again. It's like really weird. And the enemies are bullet sponges, which a lot of people won't like. But that also kind of gives into the whole RPG, you know, MMO thing where you're not just one-shotting the mobs constantly, you know. But yeah, I mean, the PvP now that, like, say what you're seeing right now, this is like, these guys were just random guys that I joined up with. Except before the one scene where some guy flanked, that was my friend. But in this one with randoms, the PvP is fucking fun, right? It's got like the perfect balance of like punishing, say in a DayZ kind of Ark Survival Evolved fashion, and forgiving, right? So when you die, you lose your shit. Like right now my character doesn't have a package on her, but you'll see in some scenes I'll have one. It's like a little hazard thing. And whatever items I picked up in this area, okay, right here, I'm picking up items, right? We killed that guy. He dropped the items that he picked up from the NPCs in here. We picked up those items. Now they're ours until we can extract them. If we don't extract them, someone else can kill us and take it, right? And when you call it an extraction, anybody can use the helicopter that comes in, so you can fight over it. Plus, there's a limit. You can only have like 6 packages on it, so people will kill each other for that. It's really cool, man. And there's some heals you see. I just healed my team. But a lot of people are kind of put off by that whole you could lose your shit thing, but some people really love it. I don't know. My friends weren't really feeling the whole thing, but I'm kind of like, I've never played DayZ, but I got really into Ark Survival Evolved, and like so I'm used to it, you know. You know, that makes me think, like, I wonder if that, I haven't played it since summer, and I wonder if my chest of personal items is still hidden in the ocean somewhere. Anyway, oh, this is funny. Like, I freaked out over here. I thought I killed 4. I ended up killing 2 or 3. I thought there were only 4. There were 5. But, yeah. Yeah, so another thing I wanted to touch on is the cover system. The controls and graphics and all those kinds of things. The controls on PlayStation 4 are fucking terrible because there's a lot of input lag. And apparently PC and the Xboners don't have that problem. But on PS4, it's really bad. On the beta forums, I've seen a lot of people like complaining about that. But so that's why I'm gonna end up getting it on the PC, my home. I'm primarily a PC player, and my friends can go fuck themselves if the controls are not going to be fixed in this game. And the graphics are very glitchy, but I'll get to that in a second, because right now what we're seeing on the screen is weapon modding. And it's cool, man. Whenever you get to put a silencer on a fucking weapon in a game, there's something about that, or a suppressor rather, there's something about that is just sexy, man. And they have stats. Like, the suppressors reduce your threat, which is cool, right? Like, that would make sense, I guess, you know, in a game logic kind of way. And then there's compensators, and they'll increase your threat. And they also have other stats, right? Like, even the guns. Like, one of the best guns that was in the beta had lifesteal on it. Some gear, I believe, has it. There are scopes and all this kind of stuff. It's really cool that they do that, right? But the cover system is really good. Imagine Splinter Cell, even say Splinter Cell Blacklist, where you could jump cover to cover, like preset areas. In this game, there are no preset areas. You aim wherever you want to go, and there's like a little marker wherever you're pointing your crosshair, or when you're looking at cover, let's say from cover, you'll see like a little circle with X or whatever respective button for the other platforms, and you hold it, and your character will come out of cover and sprint to the next cover and get in. You could let go at any time, and your character will stop. You'll be out in the open, if you don't want to. And even though the game doesn't primarily use like that, well, I mean, no, it does use the magic button. It does have magic button syndrome, where one button does fucking everything from, in most, say, certain games, like even Mass Effect was comparing before, will like jump over little gaps, it'll jump over cover, it'll go in cover, it'll roll. This game does kind of split them up a little, but you do still have like a lot of buttons that are shared and doing their, like the same thing. So like X, well, if you double tap it, you'll roll, and if you press it, you'll go into cover. So if you try to roll near cover, you might go into cover. But it was surprisingly not as bad as some games. I wasn't glued to fucking everything, right? I did manage to like roll near cover and then press X again, and my character ducked into cover. It was pretty cool. So that's good. But the controls have that Tom Clancy feel where your character feels like, all right, this is how I compare it to my friends. It was like, oh man, I had a really good analogy. 1 second, I gotta try to remember it. Okay, yeah, it was. I had actually jotted this down. Other than that, the controls feel as if Grand Theft Auto gave birth to Sam Fisher's baby and named him Ezio. That's what I had written down in my previous notes, because it's kind of what it feels like, right? Your character has that kind of heavy feel, I guess, and then how in GTA your character kind of has a bit of momentum, right? So like you can't turn left and right like so fast or whatever you want to call it, and like you can vault over obstacles. Ezio style, sort of, if you're holding, like, say, circle. And you can jump cover to cover like Sam Fisher, right? But I don't know. Since we're on the topic of controls, I want to talk about the guns. The guns feel good, right? Third-person games, they don't give you that same feel with the gun. Like, they feel weird, I guess. But I don't know. I really like it, and the guns feel good. Like they have kick, right? So even on the controller, like I felt like for me as like a PC master race guy, I would have trouble, and I did because the guns have recoil, which for me, I love that because I was hardcore. I competed hardcore in Counter-Strike 1.6. So when guns have recoil, I fucking love it, and they do. But the only thing is like the spread is a little bit random sometimes, but the kick is kind of like you could control it. The bottom line is you could generally control it if you react quick by pulling down on the joystick or the mouse or whatever. And it feels nice. They really do. And they have a good sound to them too. Like when you put the suppressor on, the guns don't sound like you're clicking a pen really fast, right? Like they actually are still pretty loud. So it's cool. Now in PvP, if someone's shooting you from a distance, I hadn't noticed, like, if they're, because I heard my guns, whatever, but, so it could help in PvP, but it's primarily a PvE thing, because like I was saying before, it'll change your threat levels and stuff. But yeah, no, the guns felt nice, but like typical of a third-person shooter, right? So bear that in mind. Oh, one last thing I wanted to talk about are the graphics. Now, the graphics are fucking terrible, right? And, okay, I know I have PC eyes, right? So I notice all this kind of shit. But even my friend was like, to quote him actually, he's like, these aren't PlayStation graphics. And then he was like, this could be PlayStation 3, which is fine, right? I don't mind graphics being bad if the gameplay is good. But the thing is, I would rather the graphics be consistent. Be bad but consistent. Like if you look at another video on my channel, it's like a 20-second clip of me just kind of running around. You can see the world rendering in around me. Like I'm just standing there. It's as if like when you're playing some games like Diablo 3 or World of Warcraft or any sort of MMO or game that lets you play it while it's still downloading, and you'll kind of see textures like popping in, and you could tell that they're loading up, like the game is still installing or whatever. But no, man, I don't know. It could just be a personal problem, right? It could just be an anecdotal thing because some people didn't have this problem, so it could have been me. But you'll see what I mean on the channel, and the graphics, everyone knows they were downgraded, but I don't even care about that. I care about consistent graphics. But yeah, so that one you gotta take with a grain of salt, because that could just be me. Could have been somehow internet related. Sometimes when you're in a game like that, if your internet sucks and things can't download, but that's weird because the environment should already be loaded on your console. So I don't know, man. Or maybe like they kind of stream some of the environments in like that. Oh man, what was that damn thing called? There was like that video game streaming service where you were like playing, like their computers were streaming the game, like playing the game, and it was streaming it too. Anyway, I don't know if it does that. I have no idea. I'm not technically savvy in that regard. Like just bear that in mind. I heard the PC graphics weren't downgraded, but they probably were too. But they still apparently they look really good. And I'm probably gonna go home to PC to play primarily because of the controls. But I mean, I don't know. Like I know I sound negative, but I'm not trying to be. I'm just jaded by by game releases. You know, modern era. This whole kind of they launch and they don't fucking work. They launch and they're buggy, or they never live up to hype. Like this game is being so overhyped that it'll probably never live up to that. But that's why I don't get hyped for games, right? Games come out, and I get hyped for XCOM 2, and I'm fucking enjoying it, and Dark Souls 3 when that comes out. But I enjoyed it. I had my fun. You know, I didn't put the game on a pedestal. I didn't like super fucking glorify it. So I got what, you know, well, actually I wasn't expecting anything. I just got a product and I enjoyed it. Not a product, it was a beta. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. And the PvP, the Dark Zone, is incredibly fun. Hopefully the PvE can pull out some crazy mechanics. You know, I don't know if they're not going to be able to do it because of what I was saying before. I hope they could do it. But I mean, I guess I'll wrap that up now. And if you like the video, you know what to do. Wink, wink. And thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Here, make a